We did this story in the best interest of the soldiers serving in the International Legion, because these people claim to suffer from mismanagement of their commanders, being sent on suicide missions, basically being sent to die, suffering from the corruption within the unit, from the commanders allegedly stealing arms, which must have been in the hands of soldiers defending Ukraine, instead of ending up somewhere else. However, I would like to emphasize that only small arms and light weapons were in question, like rifles or portable anti-tank weapons, guns, something like that. There was no question of some artillery or HIMARS being stolen. Basically, rifles, guns, and portable anti-tank missiles were in question. So we did this story in order for Ukraine's military to pay attention to the mismanagement, to the alleged mismanagement, and to resolve the situation until it's too late. Because now is the time when you investigate corruption in the army, not after the war, because army, in our point of view, in my point of view, must be effective in order to serve its purpose. And the soldiers serving in the International Legion must feel that the only danger to them is the enemy, not their own commanders. Military intelligence, which oversees one of the wings of the International Legion, said that they started an internal investigation into the facts that we laid out before them. As far as I know, this investigation is ongoing. However, we don't yet know what it could lead to. Separately, we've received some indicators that other Ukrainian law enforcement agencies got very interested in investigating the case. I can't tell more for now because it's unofficial. We also know that Polish law enforcement is very keen to serve justice because one of the perpetrators in the case is Polish gangster who is on the wanted list of Polish police and who escaped justice in Poland, resettling in Ukraine, and somehow finding his way in the International Legion. He is a criminal charged with plenty of misdeeds back home in Poland. It was very important to know that the audience shares our position on it and our views on it, that we are living in a democratic society and any sort of misdeeds and corruption must be put to an end. We were trying to highlight mismanagement and corruption within the Legion, and I was really glad that our audience shared our views on this and were on the same page with us. That's my point of view. Maybe some people would disagree, but the only way to strike back propaganda is telling the truth, however it is. You cannot fight propaganda with propaganda, especially not in a democratic society, because once again, we are not Russia, and we are also our military, Ukraine's soldiers on the battlefield. They are defending not only our territorial integrity, but also our values. And our values are very different from that of Russians, which means that we are not tolerating corruption, we are not tolerating stealing. And why it is so important to still have an active, proactive democratic society in place, civic society in place, journalism that uncovers any sort of corruption or mismanagement, misdeeds by the authorities, because that shows that Ukraine is different, very, very different from Russia. And right now, all forces are thrown to achieve one sole purpose of defending Ukraine's sovereignty. And if these arms were dedicated to be in soldiers' hands to defend Ukraine, but somebody took these arms away from these soldiers, endangering their lives, this story must be told. Because first, these commanders allegedly put lives of their servicemen in a huge danger by depriving them of an opportunity to defend themselves on a battlefield with arms that were there for them, by stealing these weapons from them. We didn't receive any direct threats, but some sources came to us alerting us about some possible repercussions. However, fortunately, nothing happened. We are safe and sound, and we are continuing our work.